for more on McDonald's, I want to bring in Thomas Forte. He's the Director and Senior Research Analyst at the Telsey Advisory Group, on the phone with us now. And Tom, as Sheila was saying, don't read too much into how investors are reacting this morning. Overall, though, what's your view on McDonald's? I mean, they came in with a pretty good quarter.
Sure. So when I look at McDonald's results for the quarter, I think that the earnings per share was, a little better than expectations, and then same-store sales, at least versus our estimates, were a little lower, which suggests to us that they had some incremental good news on the margin front from selling high-margin items, including their McCafe lineup. And then as far as another reason I think the stock may be under a little pressure, it looks like for the month of June, their same-store sales were a little lower than what people were expecting.
Okay, but does this look to be some sort of a start of a trend for McDonald's, or is this just a temporary slump?
Well, I think
or slowdown.
To that question, oftentimes 1 month of data on McDonald's on sales trends does not indicate the real trend. So to the extent that June may be a little weaker than people anticipated, does not suggest to us that McDonald's is at all losing market share or that their strong performance has slowed.
What about overseas? I mean, how much is McDonald's struggling with some of this obesity backlash in various countries like China, but also with the euro?
Well, I'm glad you brought up the euro. So I would tell you that the story overseas, especially in Europe, is that same-store sales in Europe are among the highest of any region for McDonald's. So if you look at the quarter, they actually had their highest comp for the European stores. Now, on a currency front, though, to the extent you're seeing a declining euro, that is putting some pressure on earnings. For example, we anticipate there'll be a 7-cent drag in earnings in the second half of this year from a weakening euro. So comps in Europe are strong, but the weak euro is hampering McDonald's earnings.
Is McDonald's well hedged for that, though, going forward, Tom?
Well, they're hedged to the extent that they have local revenue and local expenses often in the same currency. But there are places like Russia, for example, where they buy food in either euro or pounds. So they do have some exposure to currency fluctuations.
Tom, we'll have to leave it there, but thanks so much for joining us with more on McDonald's. Tom Forte of Telsey Advisory Group.